Well, hello there. This is aspiring author J.A. Arnold. Call me Tony. And this series is called Between Lines, where I read the lines that I love from the books that I read. If this series inspires you to pick up that book, I hope you enjoy your reading journey. This book comes to us from Clint Smith, called How the Word is Passed, a reckoning with the history of slavery across America. How do you tell the story that's been told the wrong way for so long? Dr. Smith visits 9 locations which subjugated men and women to the horrors of slavery, and his research reveals the underlying truths that scarred and continue to scar this nation, as well as completely turned a blind eye to it to this very day. This is a sharing of family histories, suffering excruciation after excruciation, stitched and forever woven to the lives of the enslaved. This is a reckoning for all of those who were denied their basic humanity solely on the basis of the color of their skin. The voices and stories of enslaved people are the foundation of how visitors experienced the Whitney. They are especially important because apart from a single photo of an enslaved man, there are no images or stories of the many people who once lived on the plantation itself. Their voices are forever gone, silenced. While a life like Frederick Douglass's is remarkable, we must remember that not every person who lived through slavery was like Douglass. Most did not learn to read or write. Most did not engage in hand-to-hand combat with white slave breakers. Most did not live close enough to free slaves in the North to have any hope of escape. No one, enslaved or otherwise, was like Douglass. There were other brilliant, exceptional people who lived under slavery, and many resisted the institution in innumerable ways, but our country's teachings about slavery, painfully limited, often focus singularly on heroic slave narratives as at the expense of the millions of men and women whose stories might be less sensational but are no less worthy of being told. I thought of my primary, secondary education. I remembered feeling crippling guilt as I silently wondered why every enslaved person couldn't simply escape like Douglas, Tubman, and Jacobs had. I found myself angered by the stories of those who did not escape. Had they not tried hard enough? Didn't they care enough to do something? Did they choose to remain enslaved? This, I now realize, is part of the insidiousness of white supremacy. It eliminates the exceptional in order to implicitly blame those who cannot, in the most brutal circumstances, attain superhuman heights. It does this instead of blaming the system, the people who built it, the people who maintained it. In overly mythologizing our ancestors, we forget an all too important reality. The vast majority were ordinary people, which is to say, they were people just like everyone else. This ordinariness is only shameful when used to legitimate oppression. This is its own quiet violence. Skin color, not culture, not class, not creed, not conduct, not competence, not capability, not contribution, and not character, but this, pigmentation. The darker the skin, the more deserving of all the atrocities known to man, atrocities which dehumanize to such lengths that it makes the reader wonder if the slave owners would have endured under the same conditions they themselves imposed and subjugated their so-called property. How is the word passed? Dr. Smith's research passes the word, keeping the pain alive and visceral while still honoring those who endured beyond the ravages of slavery, those who did not. See their pain, hear their stories, say their names, and pass the word. This has been How the Word is Passed by Clint Smith. Oppression is never about humanity or lack thereof. It is, always has been, about power. Happy reading.